It's kind of always had these two completely different sides.
The album was recorded in 3 days before you actually started working healthier on your own about it. Why was that necessary, that whole process of fine-tuning healthier?
It wasn't fine-tuning, it was the making of the album. It was, I wanted to take the full band in and record everything live in order to get the vibe of it, really kind of just rough. We didn't even really rehearse all that much. I showed everybody the songs, and we learned how they went, and I wanted to capture that immediacy, because I think in the past, like laying down track by track, somehow is hard to capture the initial thing. So I wanted to do that, and so we got that, and we laid them all down really rough and raw, and then I took all those tracks to my studio, and then used that basically as like ground zero to start making a record. So, so some of those songs, maybe only a guitar part stayed. Everything else was re-recorded and overdubbed and manipulated with tape and stuff like that. But hoping that would keep the initial energy there.
Okay, so yeah. The initial recordings were more of a demo, like in that way, or for you?
Well, that's the thing, not a demo because like the sort of frame would be there. We didn't re-record them from scratch at that point. I mean, some of them eventually got completely re-recorded, but still using the same, like the same drum track, is what we would build off of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. So, are you a perfectionist?
For the records, yeah. For live shows, I think I'm happy to let kind of anything go. Okay. But yeah, I can get pretty wound up about the records.
How big is that contrast between, for yourself, between live and the record, if we're talking about perfectionism?
Huge. Yeah, it's a really, I think that's a fundamental thing with Phosphorescent, is that it's kind of always had these two completely different sides. One being, these somewhat, I guess, sparse and empty and somber recordings. But then even then we were always taking those songs out live and making, loud guitar jams out of them sometimes, and just seeing what you can do. So, but yeah, that contrast is pretty distinct, and hopefully was kind of marrying those two things a little bit with this new record.
Okay.
Trying to.
Okay, because do you think there's more beauty in perfection or in imperfection?
I don't know. What do you think?
I guess in imperfection has something special, something unique.
Totally. Yeah. I agree.
Okay. Yeah, for you, can you remember the first record that made you pursue a career in music? Do you have one for yourself?
A Phosphorescent record, or you
no?
Mean,
maybe as a kid that you listened to a record and thought.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, I mean all of them. There was no specific one, but yeah, always records were hugely important to me, and it was kind of clear that I was going to do this.
Okay, you didn't have something like when you came in contact with a certain artist that there was a spark that was like, hey, this is what I want to do.
Right, want to do. I mean, probably a Dylan record or something. But no, there was never a spark like that. Like I said, it was like like for that Willie Nelson record that we made, you know, I've been knowing those songs since I was probably 2 or 3 years old. I mean, they were sort of some of my first musical memories, and yeah, it was never, it never seemed like I never doubted that part.